What's going on, Superfit family? Welcome to Let's Get Superfit podcast. Today I'm joined by my beautiful girlfriend, Mackenzie.
Hello everyone, I'm really excited to be here.
And today, the reason why we're doing this podcast is we just have so many great conversations. I've been an online fitness coach for the last 4 years now, and you've been an online fitness coach?
Yeah, for the last 4 years also.
Yep, we both started at the same time. We met in the gym. Our anniversary, 7-year anniversary is coming up. And so we have a lot of great conversations. We spend probably a lot of time together every single day. We live together. But we decided we might as well just record this so that our clients, one, you guys listening can get value, and two, even if you're not a client of either Mackenzie or mine, you know, you can get value from this.
We think we've learned a thing or two over the last 7 years of dating and working on ourselves separately and jointly.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today, Mackenzie?
Today I thought we could talk about the identity we stepped into to be in the relationship we now have been for the last 7 years, and how that's grown and evolved over time. Because I honestly see too many people settling in relationships. I see too many women, because I work specifically with women one-on-one, settling, having low standards, even though they know they're made for more, they know they want more, but they just don't think they deserve it.
Yeah, which is a identity I feel like people don't really understand, is like part of your identity is feeling you deserve more.
Yeah.
And so when you feel like you're somebody that deserves it, you start to live in alignment with that. And I think we should just talk about what identity actually means in the first place. Because like,
Absolutely.
Identity doesn't mean it's your social security and what it says on your driver's license. Like, that's not your real identity. That doesn't change your life. I feel like what changes your life, what truly identity is what you think about yourself when you're by yourself. Not what other people think about you, but what you think about yourself when you're by yourself. Mm-hmm. And so I want to ask you, what do you think about yourself when you're by yourself?
I think the biggest thing, I'm going to kind of challenge what you said there, is I think it's what you think when you're by yourself, but it's also based on your actions and your commitments and your follow through. And I remember when I first started my fitness journey, one of my biggest things was I didn't want to spend that time alone with myself to think by myself. And so I wasn't holding high standards. I wasn't proud of the woman I was becoming. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my career. I was very immersed in my fitness, but not to the degree of the progress I wanted to see. And I honestly felt really lost and isolated. Now, when I think about myself, I'm nowhere near where I want to be at this time yet, but I'm in the best shape of my absolute life. I am super proud of my commitment in our relationship, and just to continuing to grow and challenging myself to start my own business and moving to Florida. And so I guess I don't want to use the word pride, because I don't think that's like a good term to use, but I want to say I am expressing gratitude for me having that strength, having that risk-taking nature, pushing myself past outside my comfort zone, and showing up and being more integral. So I guess,
so you are
in
a risk taker.
Absolutely, for sure.
So your identity is the words that come after I am.
Exactly, that's a good way of putting it.
It's not necessarily I do, because anybody could do, right? Anybody can work out. But when your identity is I am a fit and healthy woman, I am a fit and healthy man, then you don't miss a workout. See,
Absolutely.
Anybody can work out, anybody can eat healthy, but the very few people that change their identity, they don't eat unhealthy. They don't skip a workout, and that's the difference. So that's why I think identity isn't necessarily what you do, because you can win, but a winner, they're a winner.
You're so right. Your identity isn't just what you do, but it's what you do consistently, right?
Yeah.
Because the identity shift doesn't come from one day or writing down in your journal, I am beautiful, I am hardworking, I'm an entrepreneur, yada, 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 insert whatever you want to achieve in your life. Affirmations aren't going to get you there. It's what is my standard, and am I holding myself to that consistently over time? So I'm going to challenge you, yes, it's not what you can just do one time. Someone says they ate healthy one time, oh, I am healthy. Yeah, you're not healthy if you're not doing it consistently, but your actions do demonstrate what your true identity is, whether you want to think it's real or not.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, it's what you repeatedly do.
Absolutely.
Just like, that's why getting in great shape is actually valuable. Like someone that goes to the gym Dang, it's loud here. Somebody that goes to the gym consistently and eats healthy consistently, like to get a fit and healthy body, you don't get in great shape as a woman or as a man just because you have one great workout or you ate healthy for like one great week and you're dialed in. It's like, no, it takes years and years and years and years to get in great shape and to stay in great shape, and that's your identity. I can shift my identity at any moment. That's the beauty of it. I view myself as a fit and healthy man right now. That's why I have abs. That's why I have a six-pack. That you are a fit and healthy woman. That's why you have certain standards for your life. But at any moment I can say, I'm gonna be an unhealthy man. And then I can change my habits. So I think identity starts in your mind first with who you believe you are, and then your repetitive actions reinforce it. And so your actions are what's gonna make you realize whether you're telling the truth or you're a liar.
Absolutely. It made me think back to when we first started dating. And for anyone listening to, it was so funny because when we first started dating or like talking to each other, we were long distance. And Kevin and I didn't know a ton about each other. We had like really deep convos, but he didn't know all about the integrity and my commitments to myself on a daily basis. And I, at the time, was going to the gym probably 3 to 4 times per week. I didn't really have a set plan. I didn't have a set strategy. I was just eating healthy. I wasn't dialed into the level that I wanted to be dialed in. And I remember one of the things that like attracted me to Kevin initially was his laser focus on his fitness goals and having a plan and not even taking a day off. And what I mean is not no days off training for 2 hours every day in the gym. I mean, every day of every week, he did something for himself and something to move the needle forward in his growth. And at the time, a huge part of his life was more just health and fitness as he was going through school and everything like that. And for me, I remember seeing that, and I was the woman that was transitioning out of the party scene and going out drinking and hanging out with the girls and, you know, seeking men at the time right before I met Kevin. And I was going out drinking probably 2 to 3 times per week.
Wow.
And so I was going to the gym 3 times per week, let's say Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday hits, I'm getting ready for a girls' weekend. I'm getting ready to take shots with my friends. And so Thursday through Sunday being my recovery day, 4 days out of my week, I wasn't even dialed in on my goals. And I remember when I started talking to Kevin, before even dating, when I went back to school, I was like, flipped a switch. This is it. I no longer want this identity, because if I want to be a high-level woman, if I want to have high-level relationships, if I want to be with someone that's healthy, fit, and driven and wants to see success in all areas of their life, I can't be only focused 3 out of 4 days of my week. And at the time I was like, well, I could have thought of any excuse under the sun. I'm so busy, I'm working, I'm in school, I have to figure out what my career is gonna be, I have to have this internship, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, I still had the choice to be like, am I gonna make this a non-negotiable? Because whether I wanted to believe it or not, my identity was going out. My identity was being the fun, you know, carefree friend that like could have a good time. And I instead wanted to put my energy and time into something that was actually going to build me up in a different way, where I was actually going to be successful, because that part of my life was bringing my standard down, was creating a different identity for me. And yeah, so I guess one thing that I want to say too, that's just coming to the top of my head right now, is that identity was hard to let go of.
Yeah.
It's hard to let go of old identities. Back to what you're saying, you have to think it first, which is absolutely what I did. But until I started practicing it and facing the resistance of the past version of me, I didn't overcome it.
Yep.
So I remember so many nights staying in and my friends texting me or asking me, are you coming out? Are you coming out with us? And I remember having extreme FOMO. FOMO, I was gonna miss out on friendships, that people weren't gonna wanna be friends with me, or that I was gonna miss out on this part of me I once was. And I thought, oh, maybe it isn't all that bad. And I started to gaslight myself about certain things. And I was like, no, you've been undisciplined. You haven't been showing up for yourself. And now's the time that you invest into something different than the way you've been living if you want a different reality and different result.
Boom, that's it right there. And to be honest with you, when you are changing your identity, it should be uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
When a pillar turns into a butterfly, that's not a comfortable process. Like it is hard, it is gruesome. You either live or you die, right? But that's the truth. The cost of the life you want is the life you currently have. And the life you currently have is the payment you pay to get the life you want. And the beauty of life is you get to choose. You get to choose which life you have, but you have to be willing to sacrifice your old habits, your old mindsets, your old limitations, sometimes old people, your whole entire life to get to the new life. You cannot go left and right at the same time. And so that is the fight that so many people go through when you're starting off on your fitness journey, or you see somebody online, right? And you're like, oh, I kind of want to live a life like them, or I want to have the relationship they have, or I want to have the body they have, right? It's gonna be a fight. Because where you are in the very moment when you decide you want to change your identity, you're that way for a reason, because it's gotten very comfortable. Your whole life is built around it. Your family, your friends, where you live, everything is built around. Your habits is built around exactly what your life looks like right now. And so you need to sacrifice your old habits for new habits, right? So if you want to start eating healthier, you got to sacrifice your unhealthy eating. If you want better relationships, you gotta sacrifice your unhealthy relationships. If you want a better mindset, you gotta sacrifice the poor mindset, right? And so you gotta swap out these habits, right? You gotta swap out the bad habits for good habits, and it's gonna be an uncomfortable process, right? Mm-hmm. And I really love how you wanted to raise your standards when you met me. Because like for me at the time, it was just me living my life. I was like, yeah, this is just what we do. But I wasn't always that way.
Yeah.
I used to always hate the gym. I would skip training sessions when I played sports, right? And it brings me to like when we first met, like our 7-year anniversary is coming up in a few days now. And that's when I really found myself. And that's why I think our relationship, this is the longest relationship I've ever been in. I'm planning on being with you the rest of my life. Like I wouldn't have gotten in this if I was thinking it was only temporary. And but before that, my identity for myself was I had no confidence in myself. I didn't love myself enough to even take care of my health or my body. And I kind of fell for anything. And that's why before I met you, every relationship I was in, I just kind of went into that relationship because my identity was like, just take what you can get. Like maybe it wasn't necessarily settle at the time, but it was just like, take what you can get. Like you don't deserve, like you deserve whatever you're given, right? You get what you get, you don't get upset. It's not the truth. That's not the reality situation. And so every relationship I was in, I sacrificed myself, let myself go, and I was never fulfilled or happy in it because I wasn't fulfilled in myself. And personally, when I got out of all those relationships and I started putting all the energy into me, started going to the gym, started to raise my own standards and take myself more seriously, right? Because that's a sign of self-love, is when you actually take your word seriously. When you say you're gonna do something, you do it. It's because you actually love yourself. That's where I really found myself. And when I started to back up all of my goals with actions, right, and change my identity, I started to adopt the identity of, I deserve it. Mm-hmm. I deserve a healthy body. I deserve the relationship of my dreams. I deserve the life of my dreams. I deserve it all. And so when we met, I approached that relationship with like, I don't want to sound like egotistical, but I'm like, no, I deserve this relationship. Mackenzie's the best of the best. Like, I'm like, she's the best girl, the most amazing girl I've ever met in my entire life, right? When I met you, I even told you, I was like, you're the coolest girl I've ever met in my entire life. I know it sounds cheesy now saying that, but I actually meant it. And at the time I was like, but that's what I deserve. I do deserve the coolest girl ever. I do deserve the best relationship I can ever have. And so it's all because I changed my identity to being a man that is deserving of it.
Absolutely. I want you to get vulnerable for a second. Now, I know there were both things, like everything you were saying there about things you worked on before you started dating. It was the same thing goes here. Like I wasn't as dialed in as I wanted to be in my fitness, but I was absolutely making sure I was taking care of my health and, doing my journaling and trying to be more studious in school and all of those things. Was there anything, because I think a lot of people think, oh, well, I need to be the best version of me before I get in a relationship. And I absolutely think everyone should work on themselves a ton before that they're looking for another person to fulfill them in life, or, branching out and trying to develop another relationship before you even understand who you are, right? But it would be silly for me to sit here and say that you need to, keep working on yourself day in and day out and wait until you're like 50 years old and you feel like you know yourself and you've reached every aspiration ever in order to find someone to be with. Like, I remember I wasn't perfect when I met you. There's so many things that I'm still working on to this day. But like, from your point of view, Kevin, like, what are some things you feel like, or one thing, if you want to share it, be vulnerable about one thing that you focused in on after we started dating, whether it was like something you're inspired by me for, or like something that you worked on that in our relationship challenged you to level up?
Well, let me be 120% clear here. I'm still not a perfect human being, and I wasn't when we met each other, but I did have more confidence in my entire life. I was in the best physical shape of my life. I was in the best spot in my life at the time. And over the last 7 years, I have become a much better man ever since I met you. And that is the beauty of getting in the right relationship, is because if you have the right partner, they push you to the next level. And I feel like a lot of people, like, when they get what they want, they settle. And I see it all the time working with men and women, and I know you probably see it when you work with people, but it's like people grind on their fitness journey so much and on themselves, and then they get in a relationship and they start to chill. They start to coast. And ever since I met you, I want to work hard, because now I'm not just doing this for me, I'm doing this for us. And so when I met you, like, to answer your question, like, what have I gotten better at since I met you, is I just want to be, one, a better communicator, okay? Two, I walk around, I feel like, I want to be the best version of me for you. And so, I mean, I've just gotten better in every single area of my life, because exactly what I do does affect you, and if I slack, I want you to know that you made the right decision when you met me. I want you, when you invested in me, because that's what a relationship is it's an investment. Yeah. I want you to know that my value is raising. Yeah. You're getting more than what you paid for.
Absolutely. I feel this is a new feeling, and I think it's also living together. But one thing I've noticed in an identity shift in my life too has been your wins are my wins. And when we feel like one of us is struggling with something or going through some level of pain, it also feels joint. And anyone that's in a relationship, whether you're married or you're living with a significant other or you're just dating, let me know if you relate to this at all, or just think about it as you're listening to this, because I know for me, I feel like Kevin's wins are my wins, and I know he feels the same way. And also when one of us is struggling, it feels like a joint thing we're dealing with. And I think that should channel you even more to be like, hey, what is the identity? What is the standards that I'm upholding myself to for myself? Because that is directly impacting my partner too, right? So work on yourself really hard before you're going elsewhere to look for fulfillment or trying to build other relationships outside of the one with yourself. But once you're in these relationships, are you letting your standards bring you down? Because that isn't selfish to work on you. That is directly impacting your partner that you are with.
100%. Energy is contagious by a long shot. And so you're talking about standards, right?
Yeah.
Like whether you raise or you lower
standards,
them?
like whether it's like you aren't being, ambitious in your job, or you're not taking your fitness seriously, or you're being a Debbie Downer all the time, you're not taking your mental health seriously. Like, I could go on a list of a million reasons, right?
But the thing is a lot of people use their relationship as their excuse rather than their reason why.
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't go to the gym because I need to spend more time with my partner. No, I go to the gym so that when I do spend time with you, I'm the best version of me. I have energy for you. I'm not exhausted after working 15 hours a day. That's why I go to the gym. That's why I eat healthy, right? And so I need you to understand, for anybody listening, whatever your excuse is, that's actually your reason why. Oh, I can't go to the gym, I'm too tired. That's exactly why you should go to the gym, so that you have more energy. Oh, I can't eat healthy, I'm too stressed out. That's why you need to eat healthy, so that you can actually be healthy and not have to stress about your health, right? Not have to stress about getting sick. But
I think sometimes too, it's like, you realize like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, I should eat healthy so I have more energy, instead of saying I'm too tired, I'm gonna order Uber Eats. But at the same time, when you put yourself in someone else's shoes that you truly love and care about, it's almost impossible for you to fail unless you've used that person as a scapegoat. Like, when I think about, am I taking the best care of my health? And then I think about the fact that, like, gaining weight and eating junk food and not like taking care of myself. It's the littlest of tweaks, and it happened the other day. I was about to go in the fridge and I knew I needed to eat my meal prep, but part of me wanted to snack on some mini chocolate chips in the fridge, and I was thinking, if Kevin sees me snacking on these mini chocolate
Call
chips,
you out.
that's lowering the standard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whether you've said nothing or not, right? Because sometimes your partner won't say anything, or they'll like not notice, or whatever it is. Like, we call each other out, but
You eat the
sometimes
chips
you
in the
don't.
pantry, right?
Right? No, but what I'm saying is, like, if I were to eat those in front of you, now the standard's lowered to, oh, yeah, we're not that committed to making sure we're feeling ourselves properly. And maybe it seems really silly and small, but I'm telling you right now, every little micro shift and decision you make alters your brain chemistry and your habits and everyone around you that sees that standard. So whether you're in a relationship or you have a child or you're living with your roommate, whatever it is, like, you notice that standard you're setting, and those little shifts, those daily habits are either making or breaking the identity that you're holding.
Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Well, let me add on top of that, right? I feel like we're getting in a great flow right now. Here's something I want to add on top of that. I don't care if you're a man or a woman in the relationship, okay? You need to be a leader. You need to be a leader. Because somebody is always setting the standard, like you said. And if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. And it's a slippery slope when each partner keeps lowering the standard instead of saying, let's come on up. And I always tell this funny story, right? Because we go on walks together, and I know some of my clients, when they watch my Instagram story, they're like, why is Mackenzie always behind you, right? I'm not throwing you under the bus here. I'm just a fast walker, right? But this is true to life. Somebody's always setting the pace. Whenever you go on a walk with somebody else, you are either speeding up to keep up with them, or you're slowing down to get back on their level. You might as well be the one that's ahead, being the leader, so that people have to speed up to catch up to you. Never slow yourself down. Never slow yourself down. If one day you said, hey, Kevin, or one day I was like, hey, Mackenzie, I'm gonna stop going to the gym, it's not important to me anymore. I expect you to say,
I'd throw you off this balcony.
no, I expect you to say, cool, I'm going to the gym anyways.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm going anyways, with or without you. And eventually, I'm gonna be like, shoot, Mackenzie's staying in great shape and I'm slacking, gaining on the pounds. I gotta go to the gym, right? Somebody's gonna break over time. Just make sure you're not the one to break. Make sure you're the one to still lead, even if people that you love and care about are kind of falling down, and you say, come on, let's go, catch up, let's go, we got this, right? Instead of, you know, I'm gonna, because that's what people do, they're like, oh, you had a tough day, let's just order some pizza. Let's order some takeout, let me rub your back, everything's gonna be okay, right? People think that that's what love is in a relationship. No, what love is like, stop, you say this to me all the time, you're like, listen, I'm a hardcore guy, but you're like, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Be the man that you are in your motivational videos, like step it up. And so you'll say that to me and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. But imagine if you were like in some other relationships I was in way back, and they're just like, oh, it's okay, let's just drink some alcohol, or let's chill, let's escape. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now. And I just want to just express my gratitude right now. Like, I'm just so grateful for you. And like, to answer your original question, like, how have you improved? Every single way, because you pushed me to become better. I thought I was already at my like max. We're just getting freaking started.
Yeah, we're just getting started. That's true.
I want to also say a specific example too is like, as a man, you always like to do things on your own. You have a big ego. You're like, oh, I can figure it out on my own. I don't need no help, right? And I remember starting my business when we were investing in a mentor, right? Because we wanted to get better in that area of our life, right? And I think that's the best thing you could do if you want to get better in any areas. Literally pay somebody that knows what to do, so you don't need to waste your time. And at the time I was like, nah, I'm just gonna let you join the mentorship. You tell me what you learn. I'm gonna do my own research. I don't need help. I can figure it out. I went to university for business. I can figure this out. And you're like, no, you're not allowed
to mooch off
me. You gotta invest yourself. And at the time I didn't realize it, but I was like, okay, so I did it. Changed my life forever. Allowed me to go full time in my business, become the man that I need to become at the time. I'm still evolving. But you pushed me outside my comfort zone, saying no free handouts. You invest in yourself, because when you start paying more attention. Because when you invest, you don't want to lose it. And so that was the best thing ever, is you've challenged my, I would say, masculine beliefs of I'm gonna figure it out on my own. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter if I get help or not. What matters is, am I giving you the best version of me? Because you don't care if, you don't care as my girlfriend, as my partner, if I got help or I didn't get help. You just care, am I giving you what you deserve? So if I got help or didn't get help, I just need to give you the best version of me. So whatever route I gotta take to give you the best version of me, I'm gonna give you.
Well, to be honest, I knew that you needed help. I wasn't gonna tell you what to do, but I definitely wasn't going to let you not take it seriously to the level I think you needed to. And just to like piggyback off of that, one of the biggest things with that is I had to work hard on that kind of personality trait, if you will. I think I've always been more strong-willed, but you have to be blunt, you have to be open, and you have to be real with your partner, because if you can't set boundaries or standards, you can't uphold those. Not just say, don't feed me junk food, or you can't mooch off me, whatever the standard boundary is. You have to work just as hard to maintain that as you did to set that and communicate that standard and boundary. And for me, I could have taken the whole attitude of, well, I don't want to offend Kevin, I don't want him to leave me, I don't want him to feel bad, I don't want his ego to take a hit if I'm being honest with him. But you know what, I was like, I deserve to be with a partner whose ego isn't too big to ask for help. I deserve to be with a partner that is constantly up-leveling and investing growth at least as much as I am.
Yeah, and I want to be better.
Yeah, and if you can't do that, then you don't deserve to be with someone. And I think the other big thing that comes up is when you challenge your partner, especially as a woman, because I think men want to lead and women need to lead in their own way too.
Yeah.
But men want to lead, they want to provide, women or men are both ambitious, but I think honestly a lot of men want to be the man, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And as far as a woman goes, like, I have always taken school super seriously and my education, everything like that. And the biggest thing for me is I want to continue to grow and impact people and learn more about my business and be the best version of me as a woman too. But when I'm investing in myself on a certain level, when I'm invested into mentorships and coaches and my health and everything, you are actually I'm challenging you. And for any woman out there, sometimes you'll be like, well, my man, like in my life, he is investing in his health, or he's not taking this certain thing in his life seriously. Yeah. But when you level yourself up, like you were saying, they either raise to your standards, like a water level, right? Like you're either coming up or you're going down to them. But when you hold that standard, you're like, no, I'm gonna make this investment, I'm gonna start going to the gym, I'm gonna lead through example. A man, unless they're like, to be honest, a total loser and just don't wanna grow, and that way they don't deserve to be with you, they should be growing and want to exceed, be better than you. Because I don't know if it's just Kevin's competitive nature, but he never wants me to outwork or outperform him in anything. And like, I love that energy.
She does 20 minutes of cardio, I'll do 21.
Yeah, so it's like,
you work for 8 hours, I'll work for...
Yeah, it's a friendly competition going on, but I mean, most men I know, like, that's what you want, right?
Well,
so like, if I hadn't set that standard, then where would have standards would have been? We definitely wouldn't be in Tampa right now. We definitely wouldn't be running our own businesses at the level we are now. And maybe we wouldn't have confidence to continue to pursue our relationship. We'd be in
a completely different spot.
Yeah.
But let me paint it simply clear, because I am a man, right? So I can speak for men, all right? As a man, you want to be a leader. I don't know a single man that doesn't want to lead his wife, his girlfriend, his partner, his family, his kids, his community. Like, that's what you do as a man, is you want to be a leader. It's like hardwired in us. Like, this is like what you dream about. Like, this is why you want to be the captain on your football team, captain on your baseball team, like just growing up, right? You want to be a leader. And so this is for the women out there too, because I coach women clients as well, is like, start raising the standard yourself. Like I said, you be the leader, because if you have a real man, he's not going to let you pass him. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, that's like sexist. Men aren't just better than women. I'm not saying men are better than women, but what I'm saying is every real man is gonna wanna be better than his woman. He's gonna wanna take care of you. He's gonna wanna be in a little bit better health. He's gonna wanna lead. And so if you're with a real man and you're a woman and you raise your standards, the man's gonna be like, I'm going to the gym too, baby. We're getting after it too. And so, or you could be with a man that's insecure and says, hey, don't go to the gym, you're gonna get too bulky. Oh yeah, you don't eat healthy, let's just eat pizza again, right? And eventually, like honestly, someone's gonna resent the other person and it's not gonna work out.
What I find in my experience too with women and men, and when men are saying, oh, they're less afraid of you actually getting bulky. The reason why they're saying that is because they're projecting onto you how they feel about themselves. They don't feel maybe bulky, but they feel ugly. They feel overweight. They feel not enough. And so to make you and project onto you how they're feeling when they want you to stay small, that has nothing to do with you. And I think too many women to take it to heart when some random guy on social media or their husband or their boyfriend or some random dude is like, you're gonna get bulky if you go to the gym. That is a total projection. And it breaks my heart to see it all the time because so many women should be in the gym. They should be getting stronger. They should be taking care of their health. I'm telling you right now, the gym is a fountain of youth for women.
Yeah,
keeps you young, keeps your bones strong, preventing you from losing muscle after age 30. You start losing muscle rapidly as a woman. It helps your hormones function properly. It helps with your mood, and it helps with everything. And so ignore all of that noise and garbage that the wrong men are perpetuating because it's just not true.
Well, it's because a decaying tree doesn't like to see a tree growing.
Is that true?
100%.
I've never heard
because
of that. Because when a tree starts growing, it must absorb all the nutrients from the soil. Yeah.
So if a decaying tree is decaying and not getting its nutrients, and it sees the other tree absorbing all the nutrients, it's saying, hey, don't take all the nutrients, I need it to survive too. And so this is what people think in real life. They think just because someone else is growing means that it's gonna steal away from your life. That's not the truth. You have every right to grow as well. You have every right to push yourself as well. And so a lot of men, like all I know, they don't want their girlfriend to get bulky because they don't want their girl to have stronger arms than him. Well, if you're a real man, you go to the gym and your girlfriend will never have stronger arms than you. That's the truth. She will get stronger arms than you if you never work out though. That's the truth. So
the other thing I want to add to this is the arm example is such a great example, but I think you can also have a partner that has different goals from you but are equally as ambitious. Like as a woman, like my biceps aren't something I'm hugely trying to grow right now or anything, or probably anywhere, right? But it's like, yeah, if you're having comments like that, then absolutely. But I think no matter what your partner's goal is, like they need to be striving to getting stronger and being the best version of them. It doesn't have to be the exact same goal, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I definitely think working out to some level needs to be a non-negotiable.
Just growth. Yeah, it's just growth.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean like one person, like you both need to be hitting biceps. It doesn't mean you guys need to be doing the same training split, nor should you.
Yeah.
But it's having a growth mindset. That's it at the end of the day. Growth mindset versus decaying mindset. Decaying mindset is, I reached my peak, I'm just coasting. Here's the thing about coasting. Coasting only leads downhill. Coasting only means you're gonna slow down eventually. When you don't hit your foot on the gas when you're driving a car, eventually you slow down. So you gotta keep your foot on the gas. That's called growth mindset. That's called get to your destination. And so that's really it at the end of the day, is are you growth minded or decay minded? So
we're gonna close it out here.
We're gonna close it out here. So I want you to give your final thoughts on identity, right? What is one thing that everyone should take away based on identity?
If you only took one thing away from this, it would be you need to lead through example. You need to set the standards that you're gonna hold to and that you're looking for in your partner.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it.
And what I wanna end off is you are in full control of your identity. And the life that you want is gonna cost you the life you have. You cannot go up unless you give up. Because human beings are super resourceful. We like to use up all of our time, our energy, our attention, our resources, everything. It's just you need to then give up certain things in your life to get the life you want because you've already maxed out your resources. So you just need to move what bucket you're putting your resources in. And so that's what I would say about your identity. And where you invest your resources actually says what your true identity is. Not what you say you are, it's what you repeatedly do.
Yeah.
That's who you actually are. So,
Agreed.
and I agree with you 100%. If you're in a relationship, be competitive with your partner. That's the best way to go. Like, We're hitting our 7-year anniversary, so happy anniversary, pretty much, early anniversary. And I'll say it feels like a brand new relationship every year, because you're just a new version of you, and I hope to be a new version of me every single year.